Great.
Where is the chat channel there? There you go. Awesome. Oh, look at everybody already.
We've got Andrea, who does editing, proofing, and repurposing. Andrea, if you'd like, maybe give that explanation of repurposing, because some people might not know what that is about.
Oh, this is me trying to educate Artie on old school music. Once there was this kid.
All right, we've still got people coming in.
Yeah, so many people. Awesome. Well, we might just let me get all the bits and bobs into the right place.
So for the people that are still coming into the space, you can use the chat to share your business with us, your business name, so we can all get to know each other a little bit better, what you do, see the different types of businesses that are here.
And just make sure that you've got yourself on mute too, just unless I ask you to come off, but just so that we don't have to get any interruptions. Did you realize this is a mashup of two Elton John songs? It sounds so natural together that it feels like it's one song, but it's actually two songs. I've worked out which ones, but I can't remember.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. I thought it was a new one.
No, this is Elton John, man. My mum taught me well. Awesome. Okay.
Oh.
Here we go. Okay, I've just got to do something quickly. Turn this on. There it is. Getting all the tech sorted. Got it, Tim. I've got it. Alrighty. Got.
Okay, we're looking good.
It is. Alrighty, dudes. I'm trying to, yeah, let's press pause. I'm not trying to pay with my credit card right now. Thanks so much. Hello, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all. I'm just going to flick through my little list of happy faces. Oh, hi, Ming. How are you? It's nice to see you. I was just talking about you the other day. Maria's there. Oh, my international Sylvie. Awesome. Excellent. Awesome. There's so many lovely people here. So I've got a real blend of some of my coaches and consultants from the UK and all around Melbourne, as well as a whole bunch of local businesses here in Eltham and the Nillumbik area. I shouldn't say Eltham, I should say Nillumbik, because let's be fair. And so I really want to say a massive one. Oh, was it? Bit of repeat there. Let me just mute people. That's better. Okay, I got to hear myself. So welcome to the Simple Socials training. It's really nice to see everybody here. And I just first, before I get too far in, want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we are meeting tonight, the Wurundjeri people, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kath. And I have 10 years experience in, well, actually, I studied marketing when I was 19, so that's actually a lot longer ago, but I've just started building my own business in the last 10 years. Marketing, digital marketing, social media, brand, and business strategy are my jam. I've built 3 successful businesses and coached over 300 small business clients, coaches, and consultants that have got products or services that range anywhere from $30 right through to $500,000. So while I'm telling you a little bit about me and why I'm qualified to stand here and teach you this stuff, keep popping in if you've just joined into the chat channel what your business is. It's a really great opportunity for everybody to network on the meeting as well. I always love it when there's a good juicy chat happening in the chat at the same time, as long as you still listen to your teacher. I'm also a sales trainer. I've spent over $120,000 learning how to sell, so I know how to do it. Hopefully it works. And I guess my really my kind of magic spot is really identifying what makes your business and you unique, and helping you articulate that in business as well. And probably worth mentioning, I come with a tiny salty language warning. I can accidentally swear a little bit when I get really excited. For all of you in the UK who have done some training with my sister, I'm 3 times worse than she is. I taught her everything she knows. So some of the people, as I said on the call, are my coaches and consultants from overseas or in Melbourne or all around Australia, in fact. And many of the people that are meeting me for the first time might be in Mira's Her Tribe Business Networking Group. Just make sure you're muted if you're coming on early. There we go. And some of the people on the call have been through some of our collaborated training that Mira and I have presented, our High Vibes Content Creation Retreat. So I'm sure there's a few people that will be very excited with what we're going to be talking about tonight, and relearning and re-embedding some of the teachings that we gave them there. If you're from my crew and don't recognize the branding on this slide deck, we all know branding is super important. I want to just name that this is because it is the beautiful design of our very clever friend and designer, Jules Campbell, who collaborated with us to bring this brand to life. And at the end of this call, there's a way that you can get your hands on some of her design goodness, and what happens when Mira, Jules and I all come together with our genius. And what we're going to be talking about is on a first come, first serve basis. So stick around until the end and stay on live, because also I'm going to give away a little prize for people that are at the end. Not all the people, just one of the peoples. There's a little giveaway, which I'm going to name now because I reckon everyone's going to want it. Well, maybe if you knew how good it was, you'd want it. But trust me, it's my niche workbook. Now, you probably think you've done your niche work before. Can I tell you that the people that I've taken through this workbook love me and want to stab me in the eye with a fork at the same time, because we get so deep into and eliciting out the depth with more juiciness than you've ever imagined, the problems and pains of your ideal clients. And I will also teach you in a training alongside the workbook how to use it to develop your entire unique content framework for your social media. So it's worth sticking around until the end so that you have a chance of winning that. It's a pretty fantastic workbook. I use it as the baseline of marketing strategy for every one of my consulting clients who pay me over 15 grand to work with me. So note to self, stick around to the end of the call. So now that we can see a little bit about who you all are, let's get on with some of the penny drops and puzzle clicks in this social media space of ours, shall we? I want to mention that if you can Google it, I haven't included it in this training because I don't want to waste your time. We're not here to talk about social media schedulers or display sizes on Instagram versus Facebook versus ads versus reels versus whatever. It's not about any of that because you can Google that. I'm here to teach you the stuff that's a little bit more nuanced and trickier to master. So this one is more about the strategy to make content creation and connection with your audience far less onerous. This is about building your brand recall through congruent design and messaging. And it's all about getting your audience and network to actually become customers and not just lurkers and watchers. It's about helping you build a bridge to getting into strategic action on your lead generation, because that's what social media should be. None of it matters if you don't know what to say and how to get people investing in your business. If your content in socials isn't actively nudging people towards becoming clients or customers with you, then it's not working the way it should be in business. Chances are you're just having a bit more fun. But the knock-on effect of that when you're trying to use, say, just picking up social media bits and bobs, tricks and hacks here and there and implementing those, and then they're not working, is that it can be really damaging to the success of your business, because not so much because you might screw up in the social media realm, but more so because you might be screwing up the connection with your clients, inadvertently somehow putting them off, but more importantly, screwing up your connection to your own confidence and an ability to get successful in your business. Because if you're not getting that feedback loop, then you can really start to judge yourself. And when you're in a small business and you're the one responsible for wearing all of the hats, that can happen pretty quickly. And that negative feedback loop isn't attractive to your clients. So you really try and stay in the positive slipstream by doing things right the first time. Excuse me, 2 seconds, sorry. So your social media is really just a vehicle, right? So I want to chat you to hop into the chat right now. I'm going to give you 4 options, and I'd love to know where you're at with your social media so that I've got a pretty good idea of who's in the room. Number 1, and you can only write down one number, so listen to all of them first and then write them down. Number 1 is I've got a strategy and it's working to generate me clients through my social media. And this is not including ads. This is organic social media. Number 2 is I've got a strategy and it's not working. Number 3 is I don't have a strategy, but I've managed to make something work magically somehow. And number 4 is I don't have a strategy and I really need one. So I'm going to give you a minute. Oh, there's some 2s in there, some 4s, 2s and 4s, 4s, 4s. Oh, well, that's bloody excellent because everyone's on the right call. 3 Maria's a 3 and a 4. Oh, yeah, good. Well, 2.5. Yeah, you are doing pretty well, Fiona. You deserve a 2.5. I'll give you that. Fantastic. That's good. I'm really pleased that I'm not going to bore you. I know everything that I'm about to teach you is very relevant. So, like I said, stick around. And stick around to the end if you want the workbook. So now I want you to describe to me your relationship to social media. You can use your own words, but I'll throw some things at you just to inspire how you might feel. Maybe you're tearing your hair out. Maybe you don't feel like you've got anything useful or interesting to say. Still, yeah, that's great. Andy, write in. I hate it. Why am I posting? Does anyone even care? Does anyone see it? What are people really thinking of me? Are they judging me? Oh my God, I've got so much integrity. What if I turn up doing the taco slap dance, and then they think this of me or that of me, Yes, draining, overwhelming, smoke and mirrors, great. I mean, not great for you guys right now, but great that I will be able to help you solve this problem. Yes, uninspired, like you're talking to yourself. That is the best description, yes. What content to use? Yes, use it in my personal life, but don't know how to do in business. Time consuming, so time consuming. So I've got a little confession to make. I'm not using my own strategy at the moment because I'm busy, being that plumber with the leaky pipe. Like I'm fixing all my clients' strategies and all of my stuff has run out and I need to get back in and sit in my creative zone and get back onto it. And but I have been tracking my time, and I'm talking in this slide deck tonight about you wasting about 10 hours on social media. You'll hear me say that later, but I reckon I'm actually close to 20 hours of content creation a week whilst not being organized with this. So it's pretty scary when you really map your time, just how much is going down the gurgler. So if we're honest with ourselves, social media obviously brings up some stuff, a little bit of who am I to say this or spruik that or sell this, some of these, all of these things that you guys have just said can tip us into worthiness around our business. Should I be doing this? Questioning yourself, all of the bad stuff. And they're all okay things to be feeling for right now. And I just want to acknowledge that everybody that I've had a personal conversation with, because there are some of my clients on the call right now tonight, they all feel exactly the same way or have at some point. They don't so much once I've finished working with them, but beforehand they do. It's a really, really, really common thing. And you can get really overwhelmed with all of the advice out there. So I just want to help you put that advice into its place for where you're at in business tonight. But what I want to do first and foremost is invite you on tonight's call to be really present in an empowered state of mind, because I don't want you to be in a hopeless one of you're on the call, so you're probably not going to be. You're here for a reason. But for those of you listening in on the recording, that couldn't make it tonight, you might be sort of listening to this while you're on a walk with your dog and sort of half listening. I just want you to really step into being the woman that makes decisions, that is behaving in the way, because in a new way, because what got you to level of business that you're in right now is not what's going to get you to your goals. However you've been acting up until now, like unless you've just had a recent renaissance and hired a coach and you've got a whole new strategy and mojo, that's a different thing. But if you are coasting along, then you're going to need to level up to make your business successful. Otherwise, it's just really obvious that if you're doing this, that's exactly where you're going to stay. But if you're learning and starting to invest in yourself and educate yourself, then the only way that can go is up. So really ask yourself, who do you have to be? What does the woman look like at the end of this financial year? Close your eyes and picture her, that woman that is successful in her business. She's standing with her shoulders back. She's proud of all the uncomfortable investments she's made in herself, decisions she's made to back herself, the choices she's made, the networking she's made to get to where she wants to be this time next year. Because if you're sitting on this call tonight as a passenger in a passive frame of mind, that's okay. Like, that's totally fine. But you're probably not going to be able to get the results that you want to get in your social media or in your business in general if you're not really actively looking for ways to grow and invest and choose something different. So I just want you to write down a couple of words in front of you on what that woman looks like. Describe how you need to be. How do you need to be behaving to get to the next level? What's missing for you on how you need to be behaving for the next to get to the next level? For me, I'll give you some ideas. I need to be way more systematized. I've been working hard on that recently, batching my energy and really working on becoming more efficient and effective so that I can make time for my well-being so that it becomes a self-sustaining loop. So what do you need to be doing? Do you need to be investing in yourself? Do you need to be acknowledging some fears or uncertainty, acknowledging some growth that you need, some gaps? This is sort of like a current state and future state assessment, and let's work out what is that gap for you. If you feel like you want to, type some of them into the, Andy already has, thank you, Andy. What you need to be, great. Action, investing in my systems. Yes, Mira. Consistent, says Andy. I would love to see some more words in there, but keep those in front of you for the end of the call because they're going to be important. Present and intentional, Maria. Yes, lovely. I love it. Good. So these ideas are going to help you drive your vehicle, this social media vehicle of yours. So unless we've got anyone in the room that is the likes of Mia Friedman or Mr. Beast or someone that's completely nailing and does not have a social media problem, then most of you are probably still going to be great. I love these chats that are coming through. Most of you are still going to need to get some of the foundations and basics in place for your social media vehicle to run smoothly. You're going to need a system that is a little bit more like an electric car and a self-driven vehicle than some sort of broken down shitbox that you're essentially having to push uphill to work every day. If you're doing the content, if you're in the doing of content creation every week and spending more than 5 hours on it, for most of you it's probably closer to 10, then things can definitely be easier for you. And if you think that you just need to know the latest algorithm hack and trend to get there, then I just want you to remember this, and it's visceral and salty language warning. You cannot polish a turd. There is no point in filling a shitbox with high octane fuel and adding in some speed performance enhancing aerodynamics and a lift kit on a shit heap, right? If your strategy is not there, then you are essentially putting a decal of a VW symbol onto whatever. Oh, it is actually a VW, as it turns out. When I got this, I thought that's a Corolla and someone's really funny. Because it'll just look like a shit heap no matter what you're doing. So if you're worried about how to get your latest time-lapse reel trending with some sort of trending audio and whether you have the right dimensions on every platform or post, or you're choreographing a burrito slap game with your partner for TikTok, then you probably don't have a decent strategy, and that is actually what is going to get you sales at the other end. I would be putting these time suckers, and it doesn't matter if you are doing some of them, but put them in the optimization basket, not in the foundation basket. So many people spend their business life fiddling around with the 2%ers when they haven't got the 98% working. Get back to core business and developing a conversion strategy. Otherwise, you'll very fast find that the life force and passion that you started your business with will start draining out your toes because you spend more time thinking about what to put on this beast of a social media than delivering the products and services that you love so much, which is why you got into business in the first place. All of the people that I've had personal chats about this have told me that. Like, people that I'm actually working with at the moment are just so unbelievably busy that they let their lead generation go, their social media go, because they just don't have time for it and they're just running around in circles. So you can't do that. The minute you do that, your business dries up. If you don't have a lead generation funnel and awareness funnel out the front end doing the hard work to get the new blood in, then forget about it. You don't have a business. Your business will last a flash in the pan. So sorry for the truth bombs, but that's just the way it is. So I just want to give you a little bit of a scoring system here, and we're just going to get into sort of how organized you are. So a lot of you did say 4, so I'm guessing that you're probably not going to do so great on this little pop quiz, but for the ones in the 1s, 2s and 3s might have something in here. So give yourself a 1 if you are thinking, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now, Kath. Give yourself a 2 if you've got some sort of something that's working or something in the middle, or a 3 for totally nailing it. And answer yourself honestly. Hang on, I haven't said anything yet. No. Oh, so that's how you feel in general. Now I'm going to ask you some specific questions. Yeah, in terms of what? Thanks, Ming. Yeah, let me ask the questions and then you can answer 1, 2, or 3. So this is just, I'm just introducing the scoring system. Now the questions come. Number 1, this is, when I say I mean you. You are saying I have mapped a customer experience for my business from the moment someone is aware of the problem that they have that I can help them solve and they've come into my realm, right through to when they've been a client and want to be an ambassador for your brand. 1, 2, or 3. A mapped customer experience from woe to go, ideal client through to brand ambassador. Great, good. Oh, not so many, a few 1.5s, that's good. Okay, 3. Oh, nice one, Andy. Love to hear about it. Good. You got to keep score, so make sure you write this down for yourself as well, not just in the chat channel. Okay, number 2 is I have mapped all the objections someone would have to being my ideal client or customer, or at least had a crack at it. You might not know that they're not, you might not be knowing all of them. That's a good one. That's a goodie. P.S. I'm teaching you things while I'm asking you these questions in case you hadn't clocked that. Great, good. Now, thinking through your customer's eyes. That doesn't make sense. Seeing things through your customer's eyes. I know how, seeing things through my customer's eyes, I know how my business is different to the next person who's servicing the same market. So just for a little tidbit here, if you're a masseuse, your competitors aren't just other masseuses. They're people who solve stress, body injuries, relaxation, all the things that masseuses solve, right? So the osteo is your competition, even though she's an osteo and you're a masseuse. To the ideal client, that's just another choice to make, And also, just because you put the best, a sandwich board outside your coffee shop and say, best coffee in town, guess what? Usually when you drive through one of those regional town centres, there's about 7 other boards down the street that say the same thing. So that's not a point of difference either, because you've got the best coffee in town. How would I know? There's 7 others saying the same thing. Are you really the best coffee in town? 1, 2, or 3. Good. Okay. There's lots of things for people to learn here. And the last couple, I've objectively observed my customer experience process, and I have at least 3 things on my radar that I'm getting wrong for converting a lead into a client. So I've looked at my customer service process, and there's I've got at least 3 things in my head that I need to fix. What the fuck? Sally Temple, what the fuck are you talking about? Right there. What do you even mean by that? Right. Yes, mind blown. The next one, I can explain my top business values and why my clients resonate with them. Jules, WTF. Just, yeah, one can now become WTF if you wanted to. It takes longer to type, but it's funny. So I know what my top business values are and why my clients are resonating with them, 1, 2, or 3. And finally, in my content, I position my unique expertise because I've unpacked my thought leadership. 1, 2.9. Yes, and I can vouch Maria has done that. I'm proud to say, because I helped her do it, and I know she's gone on to build more. Please repeat. In my content, so the social media stuff that you put out, I position my unique expertise because I've already unpacked my thought leadership and I know what to say. And Anita is saying she'd be 0 on all that before we started a few weeks ago. I am cracking the whip at Anita every day. She's like, oh, this is so draining. I'm like, do it, keep going. Right, now here's the real kicker. This is my real question. Who, from all those people that might be oscillating around the 10 mark, you know? So there's a possible score of 18 here. If you're around the 9, 10, 12, 11, 12 mark, this is the last one. Have you taken the time to develop all those insights into a content strategy in your social media to nudge people along the buying journey? 1, 2, or 3? Yeah, 1. This is so good. Awesome. So just from that little pop quiz, you could probably guess that there's more work to be done. If you have a score of less than 14, actually, I'd love to see people's scores. Pop your score in. If you've got a less than 14, or just anyone, pop your score in. If it's less than 14, there's a really good chance that we can help you, particularly at the end of the call. So stick around. I'm so new to it all. I'm probably a negative. Yes, Ming, I know that is hard. Yeah, we need to start with thought leadership, but fantastic. Good. Yay. It's so nice to have you on, Ming. It's so nice to reconnect with you. So I'm about to share with you the big chestnut that we came here to have cracked tonight. But first of all, I want you to give yourself permission for this all to be much easier. I want you to allow for yourself the fact that this could actually be fun. Entertain the idea that if you've got a system and strategy around the mechanics of your vehicle, then you might be a little bit more excited about driving it for its actual purpose of having fun. You know, take it for a bit of a spin, connect with some people. Like imagine if you had 10 hours back and you had therefore that 10 hours to spend nurturing those really those leads that are almost ready to convert over a message chat in Instagram or Facebook, and actually connect with them and get to a deeper bespoke sort of problem solving level with them. Like if you had the rest of it sorted, the strategy just churning out, then that would be able to happen, right? You might be able to have a little one-on-one catch up with someone, give them some tailored attention. You could spend your time on social media, driving an Aston Martin instead of a Mazda, by creating your new community and expanding your reach. Be seen. Imagine actually knowing, like really owning what you know, like unpacking your thought leadership and putting it out there and showing up. We've got clients who have been hiding behind the screen of their computer for so long, and then the minute their beautiful shiny face comes on the screen, their engagement goes through the roof. But you're not going to do that unless you're confident with what you're talking about, with what you're actually speaking into, you know, on your lives and things like that. You're not going to be coming across like me with such conviction and excitement about what you're talking about unless you've bothered to take control of your vehicle. So let's turn that vehicle into a Ferrari and get some wind in your hair, ladies, rather than watching all the cool kids drive past in their Ferraris and us having comparisonitis while we're busy polishing our shitbox doing some taco burrito slap game on TikTok. I know you're not actually doing that. There's some smart women on Actually, put your hand up if you have actually done that challenge, because I think it's very funny, but I've never done it. I really want you guys to give yourself permission to say yes to the growth and this new perspective and a strategy instead of finding reasons to justify no being the answer to all of this. Say yes to spending present time with your family again, instead of sitting there trying to hide your phone on the couch while you quickly answer some more client stuff or post something that you'll be meaning to post since the middle of the day. And everyone is sick to death of seeing you nurture this social media baby that none of them realized as a family they were actually signing up for giving birth to, because that's another whole thing, let alone the actual business. You know, your partners want to see you at night. They don't want you on your damn phone. You're on this call because you want to actualize your potential as a business owner and not screw around with filming pranks on your partner for a trending reel. You're on this call because you want to have 10 more hours a week to do something that you love in your business. Like, actually imagine if you had that 10 hours where you would reinvest that in your business and how much impact that could make. And if you're ready, you're on this call because you're ready to drive the vehicle in a way that creates a truly sustainable business. Like I said, something that is constantly out there doing the work for you, the electric vehicle, and therefore becoming more reliable, more sustainable, and therefore infinitely more scalable. But there's one thing about listening to this advice, and then there's another thing about implementing it, because that's a whole nother thing, right? And I've experienced this as a coach for a while now. In 2017 and 18, I worked with all of these really beautiful people. I worked all over Australia teaching marketing strategy in workshops and running a mastermind. And these beautiful people, plus many, many, many more, joined me on one of two levels of membership. One was $400 a month to learn the stuff, and one was $1,500 a month to learn and do the stuff. They both had exactly the same teaching material in them, the same marketing strategies and education, just that the more expensive one had more accountability, one-on-one mentoring, as well as group interaction. So chuck in the chat channel which one you reckon got better results, $400 people or the $1,500 people? Yeah, 1,500, correct. Why? Because one, they'd already made the decision to invest in themselves and back themselves. They'd made a decision, this is a business, not a hobby. They had the accountability and the hands-on help to make all of the training that they were learning unique to their business. And that's such a key part that we get missed when we just learn strategy or training, is how does this apply to my business? The $400 one served its purpose for some of them in a really unexpected way, and I touched on that a second ago, was that they realized that their business was actually just a hobby for them, but that was cool because it actually got them off the hook, and they'd stopped beating themselves up about the whole social media and I'm doing a terrible job of this business thing, because they just didn't need that pressure, and it wasn't why they started it in the first place. It was a hobby, and they were infinitely happier in themselves having given themselves permission to make that decision. So for some of you listening in tonight, that might be a little penny drop for you, that this is okay. You can learn these things. You can sit on these calls and go, yeah, no, that is, you know, that's where I'm at. That's okay. But the higher investors got more out of it because by investing in their business, they were believing and backing themselves, and it would accelerate their results. That's it. When you get mentors and when you get strategy and you implement this stuff, it's just about acceleration. You're all smart women. You probably will be able to work it out some way or the other. So, some of the others were just feeling like they wanted to learn something because it felt good to make a decision. I think we're all a little bit addicted to the endorphin kick of making a decision. Oh, I did it. I'm here. I'm on the training. But it's not enough. Without the accountability, it's not enough. So I want you to grab your notes again and think again of who you need to be to have the success that you want by the end of the financial year. And really ask yourself, is now the time to be her in your business? Am I really ready to step into her? Because if you are, I want you to listen to the rest of this training and this strategy I'm about to teach you through her ears. Hear what she hears and make decisions that she will make, because that's how you're telling the universe that I'm ready for this. I'm ready for success. something easier, more fun than you could possibly actually imagine. And she's ready to actualize. She's ready for opportunity. What if we're at the very start of our business journey? You'll intuitively know whether this is it for you or not. If you've got out of a job, Andrea, to go for this, and you've made some big decisions to be here, then you're here. And you could paddle around in the pool if you like, testing the waters, but I think that you're probably smart enough to have done that before you quit your job, If you haven't quit your job yet, then you might be testing the waters and you may not have made a decision whether it's a hobby or a business yet, and that's okay too. So just be here in that capacity. But for the women that are on the call that are just absolutely sick to death of it and have got a functional business and it's working, but this social media thing isn't, then listen through the ears of a woman that is going to behave differently to get different results. So now that we've got all that really heavy, emotional, lovely talk out of the way, are you ready to hear the strategy? I love all of this. Dynamic, bold, inspired, focused, confident, go-getter. It's just a question of time. Yes! Right. So you've all driven the shitbox, that clanger that makes weird noises. And it doesn't matter how hard you've tried to fix it, you spent a fortune on it, but there's always that rattle, Remember the old times where you used to smack the side of the TV to make it work? Maybe some of you do, maybe some of you don't. It doesn't matter. No matter what you would have done, you can't fix it because there was a bloody nut missing the whole time. And this nut in your social media strategy is evergreen content. Now, stick around. You might be like, oh God, I've heard that before. Oh, what? So for the people that think that they've heard this before, it is really simple. I get it. But there's always layers to things. So stick with me. It is so simple, it's stupid, but newsflash, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you post. A well-known marketer said once, if you spent more time selling the content you make than making content, you would be infinitely more successful and profitable. That well-known marketer was me, but that's what she said. You can make content that you can reuse over and over, not because it's easier and it's lazy, but because it's the fundamental stuff that your clients need to hear from you over and over in order to make a buying decision. Because would you believe that we have to hear something and have a touch point with a brand 30 times before we make a buying decision? So if you're bored of what you're putting on social media, you're probably on the right track in a weird kind of way. The key is, and the key to simplicity in hitting those touch points is this evergreen strategy, or otherwise known as always in season, as opposed to campaigns, which are trending or time relevant content. Now, I'm sure no one's as excited or well researched about evergreen social content as I am, except for maybe Mira and Jules, who did all the design when I told them. And that's why we're all even on this call, because I blurted it out in a business meeting with them once and they both just went, what? And I was like, oh my God, how can you be in business and not know this thing? And then I realized that people don't know the thing. So I was like, oh, we need to make a training about the thing. So seriously, the more you listen, the more this point lands deeper and deeper, right, Mira? Like you're layering this in so much, So let me share with you some of the joys that when you have evergreen content, whether it's videos, reels, static posts or otherwise, or whether it's LinkedIn, wherever your playground is, some of the joys of evergreen social media. 1, you can batch create your content and schedule up to 6 months of it in advance, maybe more if you can be bothered. Repeatedly use it and repeatedly repurpose it. Reuse and repurpose, 2 different things. Number 2, you can save yourself about 10 hours a week, probably more every week, coming up with ideas starting from scratch. You'll save time making yourself a cuppa, procrastinating, or unpacking the dishwasher, or just generally sitting around feeling guilty that you're not doing better on social media. you are going to save about $13,000 in content creation every 6 months by following this strategy. Now, some of you might not have a social media content creator, but let me tell you, they're about $45 an hour, and I've done the maths on this. It ends up being about 13 grand every 6 months. So even if you're not paying someone, if you've got a profitable business and you want to scale your business, someone's going to need to get paid. So you've got to value that time. That counts, right? So that's how much money you could be saving. And you can create a customer experience that starts from the moment your posts go out, and every post has its place in nudging people along further along the get to know and spend money with you little road trip that you're taking them on. And also it'll save untold hours. And this is a really key one that no one sort of catches on to, is untold hours in energy shifting between business tasks. Because honestly, what's the energy like when you're doing accounting and invoicing versus, or you know, standing behind a shop counter versus content creation? They're just so different. Like when I do my Impact Alchemies as another product that I sell, I honestly, I dick around for about 5 hours before I sit down and actually do the thing. It takes me that long to get into it. And if you're doing content creation in batches, then, which you can with this evergreen strategy, then you are saving yourself a ton of time and, you know, mental game. So unless you actually enjoy making content every other day and you've got endless time to spare in your business, then you're going to feel unbelievably relieved that there's a really simple strategy that underpins how you write and develop content to build know, like, and trust with your audience. We go way further into what that actual strategy is at the High Vibes Content Creation Retreat, and we apply it to your business. But tonight I want to start by teaching you this idea here, content buckets. It's a practical tool that you can layer in and give you some of the ways to develop your evergreen content ideas. So content buckets are themes or ideas that exist to get the attention of your ideal client, reassure them, remind them that you're there, resolve issues for them, and reaffirm their choice when they've spent money with you. Everyone loves to be reminded that they made a great decision by buying something off you or interacting with you and becoming a client. Most people overlook the simplest of information that their audience wants to hear in order to make a buying decision, because we become so indoctrinated into our own business. You know, we really forget what newbies need to hear from us. It probably really doesn't matter whether you did the latest TikTok thing or not. What really matters if you handle the questions, if you answer the questions and handle the objections that they have to spending money with you. Now think back to those questions I asked to score between 1 and 3. And if you've got less than 14, then you've got work to do here, because each of you have loads of expertise and skills and interesting stories and values that create connection, answers to questions that your audience has. And you're unconsciously doing it all in your business every single day. And we need to get you filling these content buckets with those things. These evergreen content ideas are the same day in, day out. And these aren't, everyone's buckets are different, but this is a good selection of buckets. If they're well thought through and designed with a strategy in mind, then you can reinforce what people can come to rely on you for and expect from you. They're an amplifier for your brand. Through each of these posts, you can teach people the pathway of a very easy yes, rather than creating friction and ending in a no. Take away all of the question marks at every turnkey moment in your client journey. So just to reiterate, this is content that is not time specific, unlike a campaign content, which is designed to skim the cream off the top of your audience. That campaign stuff, exactly, Fiona, a confused mind says no. It's too hard. We don't have enough time to work it out for you, you know, like as a client, I don't have enough time to work out what the fuck you're talking about. Like, just tell me, just make it easy for me. Media, I mean, when have you been in the media? You know, if you've been, yeah. So, you know, credibility points really, that easily could be interchanged with. So campaign content works really well when you've already nurtured people with these content buckets in an evergreen way. Your campaign content performs so much better because you're literally just coming in and skimming the cream off the top of an already nurtured audience. Otherwise, you're going to be a little bit like the weird guy that texts you on Tinder, or finds you on Facebook because he saw you on Tinder and you didn't match with him. You're just coming at him and at you, and you don't know him from a bar of soap. And why the hell would you go out on a date with that guy, right? Like this, or woman. So that's that's campaign content done poorly. Like, you don't want that. So these buckets of evergreen content is the foundational information that don't be the Tinder guy, that nudges you closer to a yes as possible before you put the buying opportunity in front of them with your campaign content. That is time specific and time urgent. It makes campaign content convert higher and builds your audience every day and every week. It's the sustainable lifeblood of your business so that you've got more eyes ready to see the campaign stuff. It's your steady, reliable old Corolla, your brow mopper that just gets the kids to school. Your campaign content is your high performance vehicle, the Ferrari, and it gets you there super quick, but it's your good car and it costs a lot of money to run. And all that time and money that you essentially running the rat wheel day in and day out of an inefficient content creation system. And the cool thing about this is that you can fill them up in one hit, maybe even in one weekend, and then you've saved yourself the pain and confusion of the weekly content rat wheel, which can be truly, truly painful. It's simple logic. You get in the mood for it, preferably maybe with a bunch of like-minded people, and you get your full creative vibes on. Hive mind on. Bring in those women. Get lots of ideas and juice flowing. Chuck in some food and wine, some one-on-one support, connection, laughs. That actually sounds pretty good. Would quite like to create all my content with a bunch of other women around. Having other women around when you're creating content is a brilliant way of you getting unindoctrinated and having someone see your business through new eyes, how they can act like an ideal client while you brainstorm out your customer experience, and they can tell you the problems with each step in your journey. And it'd actually be really cool to have a group of women around to do that with. Laugh your ass off for a couple of days, get some shit done, walk away with about 3 to 6 months of content created and pumped out. Who'd be up for that, actually, if there was a way? Having a bunch of women in a room that could be your hive mind and come up with a whole bunch of creative ideas. Give me a yes in the chat channel if you'd be up for that. It does work pretty well, hey? So there's a lot of yeses. So how about I told you a way that you could totally immerse yourself into creating your social media in one hit and knock off one of the most time-consuming jobs of this year. Because I would love to tell you about our content creation retreat that we came up with to solve this exact problem. We heard your tiny little silent screams in your dreams because we co-created the most wonderfully inspiring but bloody productive retreat of all time. There's only 8 spaces and we've already sold 2 of them, which means there's only 6 left. So get your clicking fingers ready while I tell you exactly what we've packaged up. And don't forget to stick around till the end because I've got the workbook to give away to one lucky soldier. So this is what we've put together for you. And if you can't come, then you should try and create this for yourself. So grab your notes out from the start where you wrote down about how you feel about social media and how you actually want to start showing up in your business. So for all of you that felt quite lonely in business, that it was, a creative sort of zap and no, what do you call it? Like what? Blank space, then this one is a no-brainer because you're going to be building deep connections with local business women just like you. 7 other women who become your board of directors, your creative council, your interviewers, your very newbie purchaser to give you that new insight, unindoctrinated mind, whilst also pouring you a wine and getting you a snack while you work really hard. They're the women that you want around you. If you resonated with trying to get out of content overwhelm, what on earth do I write? I'm wearing so many hats in my business. I've got no strategy. Someone put in there being more committed. Then this is a 2.5-day retreat that is going to buy you back 12 to 24 weeks of content creation time. I know it sounds unbelievable, but we did do it at the last retreat. Everyone walked away with at least 12 weeks of social media created and ready to schedule on the Monday. If they didn't, it's because they drank too much wine and I couldn't control them, but that was not my fault. I do not take responsibility. But I feel like that feels really easy to justify to your family, right? Hey, babes, I'm going away for 2.5 days. Yes, it's with a bunch of women. There's a whole lot of wine and yummy, yummy food and a big bonfire in the paddock. All right. Aside from that, no, that was no one, by the way. But aside from that, you know, I'll come back with 6 months of social media done or 3 months of social media done, and I won't be on my phone all night. You know, I reckon that's a really no-brainer. So we're going to get a strategy and system around your copywriting. So I'm actually going to teach you how to copywrite so that your posts become more engaging. There is actually a framework for copywriting, sales copywriting, that doesn't sound salesy. And having spent $120,000 on becoming a sales trainer, I have nailed it. So lean into, I'll also teach you how to map out your customer experience and how to lean into your unique difference in business, because I've got this experience of like 300 people that I've worked with that are all in different businesses, and I've had to do this stuff for them. So, and also because I've worked with all those people, I've got all of this other just knowledge that oozes out of my pores. So I can't help but give you a little bit of sort of systems and productivity training on the side while we're having a coffee in the morning. It's just, there's so much in there as far as tech setup, systems, sales process, marketing strategy, promotion, brand strategy. It's all going on in there. And I can help, I just can't help but help with all of that advice. So there's so much in there that isn't sort of logically included in this. The same goes with time with Mira. So you'll get one-on-one time with Mira on camera confidence coaching, which frankly, we didn't actually realize we were doing at the last retreat when we ran it, but was one of the most transformative experiences for the women there. Jamal, who came to the last retreat, was stuttering and totally not showing up. She was exactly the person I'm talking about when I say hiding behind the pretty picture. And her feed looks gorgeous, but I tell you, every time she now comes on camera, thanks to Mira's confidence coaching, she'd been off social media for 6 months because she didn't want to show up. I don't know what, she's absolutely gorgeous. She's confident, she's smart. I don't know what was holding her back, but something was. And with Mira, in about a 30-minute period, she turned from shy and not showing up at all to absolutely owning her message, and her social media has been transformed. I'm going to show you some of her results at the end of this because of that. You also get time in the bedroom with me, and it's funny we say in the bedroom because there is this master bedroom with a big lounge room in it, and so I suction you away for a period of time one-on-one. Nothing other than me coaching you happens in the bedroom, and not on bedroom related things, more on related to origin story. So I came up with this really cool framework and hack to be able to get your origin story in business linked to the problems that your clients are experiencing. When I developed it sort of almost by accident with Mira and Jules when we were practicing for the last retreat, it blew their minds, and it's blown the minds of all 6 women that came to it. So really, really fun way of telling your business story and making it relevant to your clients. So I'm going to teach you how to bridge all of that into your social media and get your key messages out. And then we achieve so much more. We do lots of over the table interviews with each other, brainstorming, hot seating, one-on-one guidance in all of our work sessions. And I reckon that the work that we do with just that's one-on-one stuff would save you thousands of dollars in mentors in a one-on-one program. And the downfall of doing it that way is that you're only getting one person's perspective. But right here, you're getting this boardroom of people that can just bring so much more creative juice into it all. Then you're going to save all of that time on social media managers. And even if you don't have a social media manager, or you're not even close to hiring one, if you had 10 hours back a week, you could, and you've got a cleaner like I did and paid her $240 a week, I can now clean my own house if I did this strategy and save that money. So just think, time is money. Wherever you put it, whatever you're doing with it, you know, minimum wage, $20 an hour to be doing this stuff. Someone's got to do it. So you're just going to learn loads from everyone, giving you a bird's eye on your business. Not to mention having lots of laughs, really lots of laughs, and making it fun again, making it easy again. I have honestly never laughed as much as I've laughed at Cheeky Fox Retreat. I don't know what happens when you get a group of women in a room. It gets pretty funny and maybe a bit dirty really quickly. There's a fire pit, there's a horse float bar, pool, movie room. And when we get a little bit in our heads and a bit over it, Mira will be there to nourish us with a meditation and visualization, give us a bit of a circuit breaker. So if you're lucky, you might also see me cut some moves to Chemical Brothers on the dance floor or something like that. So what is included in the retreat that has got these women these results? So Jamal, on the right-hand side there, 901 accounts reached in the week after the retreat. In the month after the retreat. That's about 3 weeks after the retreat. 5,200% increase in reach, which means a 5,200% increase in new eyes, new audience, people coming in. A 5,400% increase in engagement. And then Jade over here put out a reel with her actual face on it and got a 509% increase in engagement. So these strategies work. I had a pretty good idea that they worked when we started running the last retreat, but this is proof in the pudding that everything that I taught you tonight, when implemented, actually works. So let me run through exactly what you walk away with, because it's important that you know. 60 to 120, depending on how fast you work and how you know, some people really struggle with copywriting, some people don't. It's just that's sort of a gauge on what you can get done. But all the women at a minimum got 60 posts, which is 12 weeks of posts designed and written in 2.5 days. We do the reels, so we film some timeless reels for you to position the key parts of your business, and we also help you create content that drives back to those reels. They're the cornerstone pieces of content, your pillars in your business that people need to know about over and over again. We give you this really high quality workbook that teaches you, has all the frameworks that we're going to teach you at the retreat documented in here, so that you can go home and use them again. It's got my copywriting framework in there, my customer experience mapping framework in there, and it maps out the whole content creation system that we're going to teach you so that it's all reusable. So when you sit down and do your next batch of content, you don't have to come back to the retreat because you will know how to do it. It's all in the book. We also give you over 80 graphic design templates for everything from reel covers to carousels to static posts, and a whole individually. So with all of the women that come, because there's only 8 of you, we will sit down before the retreat and work out what hashtags you should be using in your posts for where it's relevant. LinkedIn, Instagram, and an understanding of we do a lot of work with you pre-retreat, about 6 weeks worth of, not a lot like hard work from your perspective, but an hour here and an hour there each week prior to the retreat, where Mira gives you a value session, a business one-on-one value session, and how to shine those through to your content. And you also get a Canva training series prior, so you know how to design before you get to the retreat. You get my case study elicitation framework before the retreat, so you can go around all of your beautiful clients and ask them for a really great case study. And you get my niche development training. So you'll get the workbook for the one lucky person's going to be at the end. And you get a branded social media banner pack for LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you need those banners at the top, you know, as well as obviously all of your meals, wine, accommodation at the retreat in Kinglake in Victoria. I think I've touched on everything there, and of course all of the beautiful women. So I've just taken a stab in the dark. I'm not going to be one of those people that says for sure it's going to be exactly this much money, but it's roughly that value, at least I would have thought. Knowing what I charge per hour and what Mira charges per hour, that would be a fairly underestimate of our coaching and mentoring, but it's in a group setting. So, you know, I think it's probably about that much. But what we are asking instead is $3,400 for early bird, which ends on the 15th of May, or 8 payments of $425. The normal price is $3,900 and it'll go up to that after the 15th of May. So if you're interested, Tim, could you pop into the chat channel the URL for the High Vibes webpage, please? And we've got all of the video testimonials from the other women on there, so you can go and watch them and see just how much fun they had and how much, really kind of groundbreaking and earth-shifting this was for them and their business. So even if you don't want to click that link now and let it open up in another URL, otherwise you won't be able to sort of save that. What did I want to say as well about that is, the date, so 16th to the 18th of June. And the process is basically that, like I said, there's 6 places remaining and it's sort of first in, first served. And we'll work our way through an interview process, because if you're feeling called to this and it makes loads of sense for your business, then just register your interest on that page, page that Tim's dropped into the link, because first in is the way that we'll move through it. So if we get lots of interest and those 6 places get snapped up quickly, we've got 20 people interested, then it'll sort of be through preference essentially. But we will also be sort of curating the room. So by having a chat to us, you're not sort of locking yourself into it. You're really double checking that your business is a good fit for the other people coming. We want to create these little pods of local business women that can help each other in their business journey. And there'll be other opportunities to reconnect like that as well. So we will determine on that call if your business is a right fit for this retreat. You just need to know that it's a yes in your heart, and we'll answer all of your logistical questions and the sort of business fit questions on that call. I think that's all I want to say on that. Yes, throw the link in the chat, done that. So finally, the prize. How many people are left on the call? Good. A fair few of you, I think. Let me just stop sharing for a second so I can see everybody's face. Oh, yes. Oh, lots of people. Yay. Okay. So to get your hot little hands on my workbook, I want you to, if you're comfortable, pop your email address into the chat channel. If you're not comfortable, then please email this email address, letsgo@kathclark.com. I will have your email addresses because you've registered, but I just want to make sure that I'm matching the right person. And after the call, I'm going to randomly, I might take a quick screenshot now so I can randomly pick someone after the call. I don't want to do it now. I'm going to print that out and go like this and point and give you, someone will get the workbook and a training from me on how to use it. And of course, if you would like to book in a chat and talk about the retreat, we would love to have you there. But otherwise, it's been a real pleasure having everyone tonight. I hope you learned something. Did you all learn something? Give me a wave and a yay or a nod. Good. Yay. Excellent. Awesome. It was just lovely to meet you all. And I know it's been you're all mute. You can come off mute now if you want to say hi or ask any questions. I'm more than happy to answer them about the strategy, particularly. If you want to talk about the retreat, maybe we can chat on a private call so you can get your questions answered there. But otherwise, you're free to go. I will email you tomorrow if you were the winner. And we might even announce it in the Her Tribe Facebook group too. Mira, why don't you chuck the link of that into the chat channel too, so that everybody that's not part of that, you don't have to be a local business women, it's just women supporting women in there. And I'll announce that in the group there as well, the winner. Good. I did learn something. Fantastic, Janine. That's a relief. Oh dear. Good. All right, you beauties. Have a beautiful night. Haven't finished too far over. And I hope to get to know some of you more soon and jump into that. Yeah, Jim Mears dropped that Facebook group in there. Join up if you're not already a member, and we'll pop the winner in there and we'll email the winner too. Otherwise, it's goodbye for now. If there's no questions, which I don't think there is. So lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for having me and trusting me. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.